So, says we are now streaming live, and I'm just waiting for the official confirmation on my end to say that's true. So I don't know if it is. So if you're seeing me, there we go. We are now live. Perfect. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Larissa Russell of Creative You, and I'm so excited today to have with me Christina Keim. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. But before I do that, this is our fifth annual Loving, Healing, Creating Summit, and we decided to do things just a little bit differently. So normally we would have, 20 to 30 presenters come and we'd give you, a few days to like try and pack them all in. And so we just decided this year we're going to spread them out throughout the year. So every month we'll have one or two presenters share live on YouTube our interview, and then we will release their session the next day. So tomorrow, Christina's session will be live, and she will. We're going to talk a little bit about what that is, but you can register for that. I'll put the link. Everything will be there so that you can register if you haven't already. Super excited about this. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Christina, and then we'll get started. So Christina is a German mixed media artist based in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Her adult art journey started with pencil sketches, took her through various twists and turns until she discovered mixed media art and cosmic smashbooking in 2020. She's very passionate about creating without pressure, finding spaces for contemplation, experimentation, healing, and self-discovery through art. Everything that touches my heart. And her newest love is the magical process of creating cyanotypes. I hope I'm saying that right, but I might not be, that I also incorporate into my artwork, that she incorporates into her artwork. And she hosts workshops and community courses teaching art journaling, cyanotypes, and mixed media techniques. And she wants more people to discover how to create with joy and intention, heal and transform through art, and create a better, more colorful life. Love that. So welcome, Christina.
Hi, Larissa. I'm so happy to be here. A bit
I'm
nervous,
so
but
happy.
that's okay.
I am. I'm so happy to have you here. And like I was saying before we started, I'm so grateful that you took the leap and were willing to be our first person in this new format that we're trying out. So I really appreciate that. So for anyone who doesn't know you, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, yeah, obviously. So, yeah, you said some of the things already in the introduction. I'm from Germany, but it's been a bit more than 15 years that I live in Buenos Aires, Argentina, with my family. And I have been doing creative things on and off for most of my life, I would say. And I started drawing first in 2015, and then that developed, and there were several stages where I did or tried different things. And like what moved me most and got me most excited until today is everything that has to do with mixed media, art journaling, junk journaling. And yeah, my latest discoveries are the cyanotypes that are like old photographic technique where you can make prints in a beautiful blue color with sunlight and very few materials, and you can experiment a lot, and you can like you connect to nature. So that's my latest discovery from last year that I'm very excited about, and that I do, and that I also incorporate into my or start to incorporating into my journals and other artwork.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And somebody else had told me about cyanotypes
Yeah,
recently as well, and I went to check it out, and I only saw like the sheets of paper you could get. But today, when I went to look, you can get
mm,
the chemicals and do it
yeah,
yourself. You can do it on fabric. There's so
yeah.
many neat things you can do with it.
Yeah,
Might have
yeah,
to check
yeah.
it
It's
out.
fantastic, and I would say I'm only just starting to exploring everything, but I have like already a few favorite techniques. Like they are pretty unpredictable, and you get to try and experiment a lot. So you just let go and you let it be what they want to be like, and that is something that fascinates me. And that is always something that I look for. Like, how can I do things that are mm, yeah, where I don't have to be precious about too many things, where I can be imperfect, where I can let go of control, because there's so many things that we try to control in our daily life, and it's exhausting. So when I do and go make art, I find myself drawn to techniques that are about letting go and giving up a bit of control, just like release tension and everything of that sort. I have discovered that these are the things that tend to fascinate me most.
I love that because I think it's really important that, you know, we don't get so caught up in the detail. I mean, if you're learning a technique, okay, great. But to
Mm,
do creativity for healing, those
mm,
details can really weigh us down. And so
mm,
allowing the space to explore and see what shows up, it's so
mm.
important. So important.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's something where cyanotypes are great, and also cosmic smashbooking, everything, art journaling, mixed media, where you can just throw everything that you have around you on your page and let it be what it wants to be, and it's really freeing, and that is something that is uh, for me in and of itself something that is healing, that is good for me. I feel better, I can let go, and so that is something that I really try to incorporate as much as I am able to and can into my daily life.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I just want to give a shout out to people who are popping in saying hi in the chat. So feel free to ask questions and
Everyone.
put things in the chat, and we'll try and catch those as we go along. So when it comes to healing and creativity, and how do you best look after your own self with your
Mm,
creativity? You've talked about projects, but what's your
mm,
processes or what's your go-tos for your own healing journey?
mm. Um, yeah, maybe like to keep expanding a bit on what I already said. I look for things that are easy, that are not precious, where it's easy to start also, because um, all of these creative activities for me, in most cases, they are tools that I use for myself to release tension and to get present, and all the things that can be really challenging in a hustly bustly everyday life with kids and family and work and everything. um, so I tend to look for things that I can just do, even if it's for a few minutes, and I know they will yeah, calm me down, or things like that. That's what I'm looking for in creative practices that I engage in.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. And th- you're right. This busy world that we live in, right? And there's all these things, and we often put our creativity on the back burner. It's the
Mm,
first thing to go when we get busy, and yet it's the most important thing to keep
yeah.
in our busy schedule because
Mm,
it allows that space to breathe. And so
mm,
finding those quick and easy things that we can just pick up and do for a few moments sometimes is really
mm.
important. Yeah, yeah. And when you think about your creative healing process and how does the role of collaboration with others, whether it myself or, we've collaborated a few times, or
Mm.
collaborating with other people, with other projects, how does that play a role for you?
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking a bit about this collaboration thing. Collaboration sounds so huge, like what we are doing now in an event, or with interviews and session and tutorials. It sounds so huge, but maybe I was what occurred to me then was that it's not the only collaboration, or not the only way to collaborate. I enjoy a lot, like a meeting with my cosmic smashbooking girls. We have a little there's another cosmic smashbooking guide in Germany, and she created a little group where we just come together and create together. And often I find that maybe I, for myself, even though I have all these tools and I know how they work and I know they are good for me, sometimes even these are too much to get started, and I put them on the back burner, like what you said. That happens to me a lot. Like I know I have these tools, I know it's good for me, and I want to do them, and still sometimes it's hard to get to them. So when I know, oh, there's this group and we are meeting, and so then I tend to go and I make space for that. I find it easier if we have a common purpose, like, and that's a collaboration. Or I have a friend and we speak regularly. Um, and we just talk about our lives and what's happening, what's good, what's going on. And often there are moments when she says to me, yeah, you could create about that, when I think, oh, I have this challenge or that going on. And she knows what I do, and she says, yeah, you could create a page on that. And I say, oh, right, it never occurred to me. So it's like these little notches that you get from outside, that for me and my journey and what I do creatively are often very important. Because, yeah, as I said, even I know I have these tools, I know how they work, I know they are good, I know I can just move some paint around in 5 minutes. I don't always do them, and then it's really great to have somebody from outside and like nudging you in that direction. So that helps me a lot. And yeah, for people out there who are listening, if you yeah, look for people that can give you these nudges when you need them. So that's something that's for me really important, and that's a big part of what I perceive as collaboration, or
Mhm.
a collaboration for healing, or that helps me to remember that I have these tools and not
Yeah.
just leave the toolbox in a corner and forget about it.
And it's easy to do in our busy lives, right? And so having those connections, and I think that's a really great point about collaborations, because it really is, it can be that simple. Talking to a friend and they bring up something that reminds you, or an
Or they ask a
intentional
question,
group.
and yeah, or they ask a question, and I don't know what to answer. And then I think, oh yeah, I could just journal about that. I could just put some color on, or look through a magazine to see if there's some image or some phrase or some quote jumping out, and that gives me the answer. And all of that ties into healing, and that all of that, or well-being, self-care, and also into creativity.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. So true. And how do you think creativity then can empower other people or individuals in their own self, especially women, to
Mm,
navigate the challenges and things that they're going through to promote that healing?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think that this, what we are talking about, that we tend to do everything else first, is very typically like for women, I guess, or at least for me it's true. I try to be very observant of that. When is it then that I put everything else, when everybody else first, and forget about myself? It still happens to me. I think I'm getting a bit better being aware of that. And yeah, just like looking for resources that are out there, or connections that you can have, or friends that that you can talk to, and that reminds you of the, or help you to be, or to become, or to be more aware of that this tendency to put yourself like last and everything else first. And I think that's always something very empowering. And then look for yeah, things to do that you like. May it be like pushing some paint around, scribbling in a notebook, and just it helps to take the mind of the worries that may be going around and around in a circle, and you never get out, and then they pull you down. And so what I often find is, like, I have to get moving, like outside, or I go to my sketchbook and scribble, or my Spasmic Smashbook, and just journal a bit. Or even not even journal, sometimes even journaling is too much, but just like scribbling with different colors and creating a background, or ripping some papers up. Like, I love paper, like that I can crumple and that I can rip off, and then I glue it down, and it creates texture, and it's gritty and raw. And this is also something very helpful, and where I feel like I come to myself, I can relax a bit, and then I can, yeah, go out again and face what everything else again. So just yeah, just always encouraging to take a little bit of time for yourself is always something that is very empowering in my experience.
I love that. I love that. It's so true. Just take time for yourself. Just take time for yourself. That's really the most
Yeah,
important message.
it seems so simple, but we I at least tend to forget about it. So
I think it's
so
very common.
I yeah, I'm always very I don't know, surprised and happy when somebody says to me, okay, take a bit of time off. Like just like I don't know, my husband, when I start to get anxious and something hurts or I don't feel well and he says to me, yeah, like go out and walk a bit or just just take your sketchbook and throw some paint around or like these kind of things are like yeah
Yeah, we sometimes need those reminders, right?
yeah
Because
yeah yeah
we don't
I,
put ourselves
I
first.
definitely need them. I definitely need them every now and then, as often as I can get them, really.
Yeah, it's so true. Well, before I ask you about your session that you're going to be sharing, I'm just going to put it out there. If anyone in the that's watching us, if you want to ask a question of Christina, just put it in the chat, and we will get to it as soon as she tells us what she is sharing that you can get free tomorrow. And so, tell us a little bit about your project.
Yeah, so my project or my session is called Create Your Healing Station. And one of the tools that I use when I don't feel so good or can't sleep or something like that, I look for guided meditations or self hypnosis, and I have one audio that speaks about a healing station. So it leads you to a healing station where you can go and yeah, yeah, get some healing energy or whatever. And I had the the problem or the difficulty that it was very difficult for me to hold the image and to really yeah visualize or feel these healing vibes. And then yeah, that was one of the collaborations that I talked about. This friend of mine, she told me, yeah, why she does the she has the same meditation audio, and she said, yeah, I have equipped my healing station and there are like potions and crystals and I don't know, so why don't you do that in your art journal? And I thought, wow, this is a really good idea that could really be helpful. And so I have it here, I created my healing station
Mm-hmm.
in in my journal, and it's just like a bit of journaling. It's throwing some color, some glitter, and some images. And I recorded that process, and I thought I would share it in case anybody else, yeah, can use a little visual reminder of these things, or just think about what are things or items or a place where I could put these like in my imagination and go back to and look at it if I need whenever I need something. So yeah, this is what I created. I filmed that, and yeah, that's a session that you can get tomorrow. Yeah, you can see it tomorrow.
Yes, I love that. I watched it. I loved it, and I can't wait to share it. I did just put the link in the chat here, so if you're here right now, you can grab that, and then we'll put it below shortly. And just to let you know that yes, tomorrow. So today's January 12th, so tomorrow, January 13th. It will be available for 24 hours for free, or if you want, you can purchase the whole summit, which is the whole year, monthly releases, and that will, it's only $47 right now. So, definitely want to do that if you can. So that is our Loving, Healing, Creating fifth annual summit. We're just doing things a little differently. So I'm super excited about that and sharing. And it doesn't look like we have any questions that have come in, and that's okay. But if you think of them later or you're watching the replay, please add them below, and we will get back to you with answers. But otherwise, we look forward to sharing with you every month. And tomorrow, if you're registered, you will get Christina's session for free. So thank you for being here with us, and thank you, Christina, so much for sharing what you do and what you love with everyone.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity and for inviting me. I'm super happy. I'm super excited. I hope you all out there will like the session and that it will help you, yeah, in your healing journey, wherever you are, whatever, yeah. challenge you face, like you can use this process or steps of this process in your own practice. And yeah,
Mhm.
it's just beautiful and
It,
magical sometimes.
it really, and this one is, I loved it. I really loved
Yeah.
it. So, jump in there, everyone, and grab that. So, yes, thank you, Christina.